A massive cold blast is about to encompass much of the U.S., plus massive storms are coming that could potentially bring snow to your area. Let's get right into today's video. We've been seeing a lot of much pleasant and above average temperatures across the U.S. over the last few days or so, and that's going to continue here through Monday and Tuesday. But once we get to Wednesday, a crashing cold front is going to occur across much of the U.S., where we will see a bunch of more below average temperatures for much of the U.S. on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And that will continue through Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday with some definite below average and more winter-like feeling temperatures, with temperatures in the 40s, 50s, maybe even 30s in some areas up north, where it's definitely going to be a lot colder than usual in the first taste of winter across much of these regions in the U.S. here. But then we do get this big-time ridge that does develop over the southeast and kind of contains these temperatures down, so it won't stay this cold for that long. It's going to be a fast-moving cold blast, so it'll last Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, but then right when we get back to around Sunday next weekend into Monday on December 1st, it's going to get all warm again and hot for a lot of the U.S. because that southeast ridge really close to Florida, Georgia, and South Carolina, it's going to keep those warm above average temperatures down there, while the cold temperatures are still confined to up north and Canadian regions. But we could see another cold blast start to head through a lot of the U.S. later into December on like the 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and 6th, but that is still too far to get into much details for right now. All we know is we're going to be going from cold to warm, which is basically the pattern we're in right now. And the Weather Prediction Center definitely fully agrees with this, showing our definite cold weather across much of the northern part of the U.S., including Nebraska, South Dakota, North Dakota, Montana regions, where that ridge in the southeast really isn't going to affect much of these regions, so it's definitely going to be a lot colder in the western and northern portion of the midwestern U.S., but then that ridge is going to be very, very dominant there in the southeastern portion of the U.S., so it's still going to be very warm and above average across the southeast. Now, due to this flip between warm and cold back to warm and cold temperatures, we're also going to be in a pretty stormy pattern across a lot of this. The first storm system is going to come through here on Monday and Tuesday into Wednesday and roll through with some heavy rainfall and maybe even some severe weather. As if we look at the dew points, there's definitely some moisture surging in from portions of the Gulf of Mexico. Now, it's really not surging that high up, but it definitely could bring some severe weather towards Texas and Louisiana and Mississippi regions. We also could see some definite rainfall with this system. If we take a look at the national blend of models real quick, it does say that we could get a good amount of rainfall here across portions of Oklahoma, Arkansas, Texas, Mississippi, Alabama, and Tennessee regions, where we could see upwards of 3 to 4 inches of rain in some spots, mostly 1 to 2 inches of rain. But in those red and orange regions, we could see some 3 to 4, maybe even 5 inches of rain with the system. So definitely some beneficial rain with this. Now, with this system, the National Weather Service has also issued a Day 3 slight risk of severe storms here across portions of Texas, Louisiana, and Arkansas regions near Shreveport, Texarkana, Tyler, College Station, Austin regions, where we could see all hazards possible: damaging winds, large hail, and potentially, they also mentioned, a few tornadoes could be possible with the system. So we definitely need to be watching the system closely, as there's already a Day 3 slight risk of severe storms out here for these regions. So definitely be weather aware if you are in the green and yellow areas. Now, that is not the only storm system that's going to roll through. We may see another storm system roll through here that's going to be even larger next weekend here on Saturday and Sunday, that could potentially bring a lot of rainfall to the south and potentially the first big snowstorm of the season for portions of Wisconsin, Minnesota, Iowa, even northern Missouri and Kansas and Nebraska regions. Now, this is really way too far to get into much details. All we do know is a lot of the models are hinting that we could see a big storm, like a huge storm, form with this system. There could potentially be an ice storm and a lot of snow with this system that we definitely do need to be watching here. Definitely a lot of storms that could occur. It's still way too far to get any snowfall, ice storm details, or even rainfall details. All we do know is there definitely is some snowstorm potential. If we look at the national blend of models real quick, let's take a look at that for 15Z. It does also show that we're definitely going to see some snowfall. Now, it does not show a lot of snowfall because it's way too far out. All we know is there's already a lot of confidence for over a week away that we could see some snowfall here across Minnesota, Wisconsin, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, and Iowa regions, where we could definitely see a large snowstorm and definitely a big rainstorm to the south too. If we take a look at the rainfall side of things, The first storm's going to roll through, and then when the second storm's going to come through too and dump a ton of rainfall for portions of Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, Arkansas, all those areas in the southern U.S. So this definitely could be a really high impact storm. We're way too far to really get into much details with this storm, but it definitely is looking pretty significant. But don't just take this with a grain of salt right now, as things will change. It might not be as significant as what it's showing right now. Now, the last thing I did want to mention is that the Climate Prediction Center is really hinting that over all of December, we're going to see some much below average temperatures across portions of the central and northern U.S. Basically, the northern, central, and eastern U.S. could all see below average temperatures on the 3 to 4 week outlook. So basically, all of December is definitely going to be a lot more below average. So it's definitely a good sign for winter lovers and snow lovers, as December could definitely be much below average. But in the south, like we said, that with that La Nina pattern and that southeast ridge that we are going to see, it's still going to be much above average temperatures across portions of the southern U.S. all the way through portions of the western and eastern and southeastern U.S. with some more above average temperatures than below average in the north. In the GFS extended model, which basically goes really far out with the models, is definitely hinting at this, is that we're going to go out of that really big pattern between warm and cold temperatures, just to mainly cold here. It's going to definitely be more above average temperatures, and once we get into December, we're going to see more of that below average temperatures start up, and it's going to continue for a long, long time. The GFS is definitely hinting at this. This is all the way to Christmas time here, with more below average temperatures for much of the central, northern, and eastern U.S., but then that ridge really dominating this southeast with above average temperatures in these regions, but definitely some more below average temperatures there. If you look at the European extended model, it has the same exact thing, much above average temperatures right now, and then we do get that flip once we get into December, and then it's going to be much below average temperatures that is going to occur. There might be some fluctuations with above and cold temperatures, definitely could occur here, but through a lot of December, it is showing more above average, below average temperatures, especially this is going all the way into January with more below average temperatures for a long time into December and January. So overall, the big thing is for a lot of the northern, central, and eastern U.S., we're going to see some more below average temperatures that could definitely hint towards more of a snowy and cooler weather pattern for winter lovers. Alright, I hope you guys did enjoy today's video. We're definitely going to be seeing those fluctuations between the above average temperatures right now to below average, back to above average, back to below average. Overall, December could be pretty cold across much of the northern U.S. And a lot of storm systems are going to be rolling through, with the first one in the next few days or so, tomorrow into Monday there, what we could be seeing with some severe weather across the southern U.S. and a lot of heavy rainfall. Then another big storm system could definitely occur, which definitely has my eye across for a big snowstorm in the northern U.S. and a lot of rainfall in the southern U.S., but that's still too far out. We will get into more details later. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and bye everybody.